Hello, everyone. Dr. Vicky here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center. It's time for Taroscopes again. We're going to be doing the Taroscopes for the sign of Taurus. That's Taurus Sun, Taurus Moon, Taurus Rising for the month of July. Before we get started on that, I want to welcome my new subscribers. Welcome to this wonderful community of like-minded souls. I think you're going to really like it here. And you'll probably meet friends you already know from other communities. We kind of have a tendency to sort of vibrate in the same on the same wavelength. For my tried and true, who have been with me for years and have walked this rather circuitous path together. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your continued support. For my Patreon viewers, thank you so much for being my patrons and for supporting me over all these years. There's more fun to come. And for my new members on this channel, welcome. I have two levels of membership. There's more fun to come. A few more rotten apples for the basket of deplorables, and a few more people for the basket of adorables. If you want to know what that's about, check out the channel. Okay, so um, we're going to do the astrology first, and then we're going to do a card reading. And if in fact you're more interested in the card reading, these will all be timestamped. So if you want to go right to the card reading, you can. But let's start with the astrology. And if you give me a moment here to do my technical best, which is, you know, suspect, suspect at best, uh, we will take a look at July 4 Taurus. As soon as my computer catches up with me, here we go. And okay, awesome. Oh dear, worked so well that I moved on. Oh dear, let's try again. All right, there we go, Taurus. So you may notice that we have, the astrology here for Taurus for July, but on the right-hand side, we have the Tower card. Why do I have the Tower card there, you may ask? Well, July, as we all know, is the seventh month, and we're in a 9 universal year vibration in 2025. So we add those two vibrations together, and we get the vibration specifically for the month of July, and that is the Tower. The Tower is illumination. It's an awakening. It can be shocking, but it can also be a sudden turnaround on certain things. The key to the tower is to be true to the self because the 16 base number is a 7, and 7 is about knowing thyself. It's also about understanding that we are spirits having a human experience and that it is best for us align to our true selves. And you might say, well, I am aligned to my true self and my life is falling apart. What is that? Your true self in your connection to spirit. And that connection is found in the heart. And so in these cases, the heart tells the truth. The mind can lie. So we can kind of talk ourselves into stuff. But ultimately, it comes down to us coming to understand who we truly are. We are spirit having a human experience, and we are here for a purpose. And part of that purpose is to understand who we are. And that's the message of a 7. All right, let's jump into July. Jumping into July, jumping Jehoshaphat. So July starts with the sun in Cancer. For you, Taurus, this is your third house. So the sun is shining in your neighborhood. This is Mr. Rogers' neighborhood, actually. And we also now have Jupiter there. Now, Jupiter, the sun will be there until the 22nd this month. But Jupiter will be there for a year. It just moved into Cancer on the 9th of June. And wherever Jupiter is, it brings an expansion energy. And so um, the third house is the house of the mind. So this is about really opening the mind. And for you, Taurus, it's an emotional mind. That third house ruled by Cancer is a feeling mind. So it's an expansion of the feeling mind. Then the sun moves into the sign of Leo, which it is very powerful in. And that is your fourth house. That is the most Really, it's at the root of things, and the root for Taurus is life, and of course, the sun is the life giver, and Leo is the sign of the life giver, right? Um, so we have the sun moving from the 22nd um, through to, of course, August. We have the sun moving through that house, illuminating things. It can illuminate issues around family. It can bring a warm feeling, a warmth of family surrounding yourself with the people you love. Leo is an archetype of love. We also have Mercury down there. If you notice, there's a little Mercury. Now, Mercury actually spends about 6 weeks in Leo, and it's as we start the month, it's already in Leo, and then on the 18th, I believe it is, it goes retrograde, and so then it's retrograde in Leo. It will go direct in on August 11th, and then it will move through Leo and finish up with Leo. So it's in Leo for a long time. The beginning of the month, things are really sort of working on all cylinders, and then we have that sort of stop with the retrograde requiring us to go over some things. So there's some things that need to be gone over in the way you think. Uh, Leo is always a creative energy, and so it could be a creative projects that you start on, perhaps a project in the home where you're beautifying the home, and then maybe you have to stop and you have to reorganize your resources so that you can finish the job. That's the kind of energy that we can see with Mercury down there. Even though Mercury is not necessarily about building things, it's certainly about expressing your unique qualities, and that may be one of them for you. Venus, your ruling planet, starts the month in your sign, does move into um, Gemini on the 4th of July. 4th of July is a pretty active day. We have Venus moving into Gemini. We also have a conjunction of Venus before it moves into Gemini to Uranus. So we have a conjunction at the last degree of Taurus. Now, this is sort of a, a party, perhaps, that's, a party that's, woo, Uranus, Venus, disruption in what? Money, in resources, in all of that, in the last degree of Taurus. Now, Uranus, as you know, Taurus has been in your sign for about 7 years, and it will be moving out this month. It moves out on the, let's see, when does, it moves out on the 7th, and it will be in Gemini, which is your house of resources and resourcefulness, until November. November 7th, it moves back into your sign to finish up, and then by the beginning of next year, it's done with Taurus. You can breathe a sigh of relief, sort of, because Uranus is out of your sign, and then it moves into the house around your resources and money. So there can be sudden shifts and changes in that, but it's always about illumination. It's always about illumination. And then most of the month we have Venus, which is your ruling planet in Gemini. And so this opens the lines of communication. You might find yourself more chatty than usual. Tauruses aren't necessarily known for being chatty, but you will open up your communications. And you'll notice as Uranus moves through that house, you might be opening up communication even more so. Okay. Both Saturn and Neptune this month are stationing retrograde. Saturn and both of these planets are in your 12th house. Now, they just moved there. Um, Neptune moved into Aries at the end of March, first time in 165 years. It was at that degree. And then in April, Saturn moved in to Aries, and Saturn hadn't been there since the 90s. So this is a Saturn return for those people born, I believe it's 97, 96, or 97 and 98. I can't remember exactly. But you'll probably know if you're 29, you're having your first Saturn return. If you're about 58, 59, you're having your second Saturn return. And But we do have Saturn in Aries, and Aries, as the first sign of the zodiac, and Saturn, the planet of reality, indicates perhaps a new reality. And of course, with Neptune there, that we're seeing dissolution of things that we had grown to depend upon that are sort of dissolving away. This is all part of a cycle. The Saturn Neptune is all part of a cycle that actually began back in 1989 when these two planets came together in the sign of Capricorn. There were three conjunctions. I believe it was at like 11 and 12 degrees of Capricorn, or 12 and 13 degrees of Capricorn. I think it was 11 and 12 degrees of Capricorn. And so, 1989, when the wall came down, right? It's a significant 36-year cycle. And this particular one is going to restart in Aries, but that's going to happen in February. So we're at the end of a cycle that began in 89. So the things that happened in 89 are coming to an end point. So you can see in your own life if that is true. The last time um, and that conjunction for you back in 89 would have been happening in your ninth house of truth, and big picture. So there's definitely a significance, but both Saturn and Neptune will retrograde. Saturn retrogrades on the 13th of July, and Neptune retrogrades on the 4th of July. So we have the Venus Uranus conjunction on the 4th of July. Then Venus moves into Gemini on the 4th of July after it makes that conjunction to Uranus. But we also have Neptune stationing. When those outer planets stations, there's usually some sort of collective shift. However, Neptune tends to be less explosive. It can be very subtle. But with Uranus and Venus there, I think subtle is out the window. In fact, I think subtle is just out the window perhaps for the rest of our lives, but we'll see. We'll see how we work the energy as it comes at us. All right, we have, of course, Pluto up in the 10th house, going to be there for about 18 more years, so you'll have plenty of time to work with that energy. Pluto is power in your house of career. It can be good, but it's going to be hard work, and it's going to have its oh, what do I want to say? It's going to have its crises, as we go. And of course, for those of you who were born early in Taurus, Pluto is squaring your Taurus planet, and that requires you to be an authority in your own life. So you're being a little. I know Uranus is coming out of your sign, but the rebellious side of Taurus is not quite done. But it is, Taurus is much more light on its feet than it's ever been, thanks to Uranus. Um, okay, what else we got going? Oh, we have a full moon in the sign of Capricorn. That the full moon will be in your ninth house as the sun in Gemini opposes that. That'll be in your third house. This is the axis of the mind, so your mind becomes very active. There can be an illumination. And with the full moon in Capricorn in that 11th house, Capricorn is often associated with those in power or the government or large institutions. And we may have an illumination around that, or surrounding the idea of truth. We also have a new moon. The new moon is in Leo, and that is the fourth house for you. Now, that new moon is happening the full moon is happening on the 10th. The new moon is happening on the 24th. New moons are generally good times to start projects, but remember that Mercury is retrograde. So it's not that you can't start the project. Just make sure before Mercury goes retrograde on the 18th that you have all the plans set. And then if you want to start things moving, we could do it on the full moon, on the new moon in Leo. It's a very powerful and creative time. Mars, the planet of action, is moving through your house of creative self-expression, and your house of children, your house of luck, and your house of romance. However, Mars is in Virgo, and so it can be a little persnickety. But the function of Mars in Virgo is to improve upon things. And so there's a lot of energy around this chart around improving either your environment or improving yourself. There's a lot of self-improvement here. And if anybody can do it, you can, of course. And you're a Venus ruled sign, and Venus, just coming out of her retrograde, she is changed, she is shifted just like you are. and the future is what you're going to make it, quite frankly. All right. So that's the story, Morning Glories. Let's get out of here. And we're going to do a card reading. So let me grab a deck. I grabbed a whole bunch of decks here. Let's see which one. I think I'm going to use this one. This is the Modern Spellcasters deck. This is my giblets bag that Ona made for me. One of my favorites. All right. Okay. Yeah. So June is was I'm doing this in June, so I'll tell you right now, it's nuts. Um, and now we have the specter of July. So what does Taurus need to know, Spirit, for July? What's the best advice for Taurus? That's Taurus Sun, Taurus Moon, Taurus Rising. Okay. Okay. Oops, I almost dropped all the cards. It's early in the morning. My hands are a little stiff. Okay, we start with the Two of Wands. You have an idea that you want to move forward on. You're not quite ready to move forward. You're still getting inspired about it. Um, it is going to be a commitment. It is going to be a commitment. If you walk through that portal, it is a commitment. Let's see. And you're very committed, so that's nothing new for you, right? Okay, crossing that is the Tower, the card of the month, right? This is sudden disruption. So it's as if you have these plans and you're thinking about it, but something comes down, some illumination, some sudden disruption. It could be the disruption. This doesn't necessarily have to be personal disruption for you because there is so much disruption in the outer world. It, of course, affects our personal lives, even if we try to stay out of it or aligns with our higher self. There are still outside circumstances that we have to respond to. Let's see what's at the root of this. Empress, this is the power of Venus, the power of the feminine. This is abundance. So, underneath it all is a true sense of worth and value and abundance. Okay, let's see what else happens. In the past, you've had your burdens to carry. Hopefully, you have reorganized. You've dropped a few. You've learned that lesson. Here, this is the past. There's 10, and in the present moment, there's 2. So it says to me that you probably actually have done that. You probably have done the due diligence to let go of those things that were either in your way, blocking your view, or taking up too much time in your life. Let's see what's in the sky. Oops. Ooh, the star. Okay, so so these cards are saying no matter what's going on in the outer world, this in the sky card is usually how I see like spirit giving you some advice. This is a card of meditation, the star card, but it's also the card of hope. And so spirit wants you not to lose hope, no matter what you see and what's going on. Do not lose hope. Connect to your guiding star. Connect to your guiding star in the immediate future, or this is really the vibration of the whole month, really. And we have the sun. So there's illumination. So whatever losses come with this tower card, on the other side is illumination. Things become very clear. The road becomes very clear. And you'll see, you're sort of waiting there at the precipice of something. But suddenly what's going to happen is there's going to be disruption and then everything's going to become very clear for you. How it's seen from the outside. Um, this is about walking away from something that is no longer fulfilling. But it seems like there's one more thing. There's one more cup to overturn here, to let go of. So, um, people, I guess how you're seen as somebody who's willing to step away from something that's no longer fulfilling. Your domestic situation, we have the Seven of Pentacles. This is about nurturing your garden, so to speak, doing the pruning that's necessary. This is not quite, we have these trees in a pot. It's not quite a forest. It has the potential to be a forest, but there are still projects that are young that you need to nurture. Make sure you're nurturing them. This is at home. This is your domestic situation. Kind of vibes in with the idea of Mercury being down in that house, in that fourth house, and these sort of projects that you might be working with. You just have to make sure that when things begin, that you take the time and care to nurture that. It also indicates that your money situation, you still need to work on it. Your hopes and fears, the Chariot, uh, I mean, this could be a hope. This is a success card. It's about moving forward. But you might be a little afraid of moving forward too fast. So it's up to you. But it is a success card. I would assume that you're wishing for success. And then the outcome is the Ace of Wands, which is a wonderful card. It's about new creative endeavors. Excellent card. Let's see if we can get a major arcana. The King of Wands having dominion over spirit. The Knight of Cups, messages of love and heartbreak and betrayal. So watch if there is somebody coming in who seems like they're um, it's kind of separate from the whole card. This is maybe just a little bit of a warning of if it sounds too good to be true, it is. Underneath it, we have the Queen of Swords. Well, that makes me feel good because the Queen of Swords has good judgment. The Five of Swords, this is about abuses of power, being aware of abuses of power, watching out for scoundrels and the like. And then the Eight of Pentacles, which is about protecting what is yours. So there is a sense of moving forward, but not too quickly. There is a sense of illumination here and new projects coming in, new opportunities coming in. You just need to protect your resources and protect yourself, which I think is probably, whether you're a Taurus or not, is probably good advice. All right, excellent. So the last thing I'm going to do is pick, sorry, Spirit Animal Oracle card. This is the deck by Colette Baron Reed. And let's see what animal spirit comes up for Taurus. I don't know if there's a bull in this one. That would be funny, right? I know there's a cow. And Taurus is the cow. Okay, let me just give it a good shuffle. I don't feel like it's quite shuffled enough. All right. I usually do this before, but I'm gonna do it right now. Okay, what do we have? Frog spirit. Frog spirit. I believe that's cleansing. Clear out the clutter. I guess it is. I guess maybe that's what all that energy in the fourth house is asking you to do. Clear out the clutter. Okay, let's see what it says about frog spirit. EF. Whoops. Yep. Clear out the clutter. I'll hold the card up because they're actually very beautiful cards. We have, this looks like a tree frog. We have those little tree frogs around here. Maybe not. Well, it's got the little suckers. Yeah, I think that's a tree frog. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Frog spirit knows that while all other frogs are croaking away, this is the time for you to simplify and declutter your life so you can feel content on your own lily pad. Even when life isn't creating a total cacophony, we can become drawn to the excitement of lots of noise. Well, there's certainly not lots of noise out there. Oh, there's another card underneath it. Groundhog. Okay, this is the card I picked though. Um, then the next thing we know, our schedules and our homes are, oops, cluttered with commitments we regret making and objects taking up valuable space. Even relationships need decluttering as they often become messy. Frog Spirit appears to tell you to clean house, prioritize what you need, and get rid of or give away the rest so you can have some space in your day and in your head. You don't need old stuff and its stories shouting at you about the past. Although with physical clutter, friendships sometimes kept long past their expiration date, weighing you down with unnecessary baggage. Now is the time to clean and let go, which is kind of what the Ten of Wands in the past indicated, and I think you've probably done some of that work already. Whatever you need will appear when you need it, so release your grip on all the clutter that is making you feel anxious and burdened. Frog Spirit wants you to reclaim your space, unencumbered by shoulds, oughts, and coulda-beens. Let go and jump for, let go and jump. You are free from all the old stuff. Well, if 7 years of Uranus in Taurus hasn't freed you from the old stuff, um, there may be a little work. Well, of course, we still have a little time with Uranus in Taurus, so keep that in mind if you haven't gotten to the clutter-free life that you had hoped. All right, guys, have yourself a beautiful July. If it happens to be the summer where you are, wonderful. Be careful out there. It is nuts. It is a tower year, tower month. So be aware and take care. And until next month, I'll see you again soon. Namaste.